In today's class, we'll be starting the very basic session of Python programming. Introduction to Python programming. Right? Introduction to Python programming. Very basic session. From here onwards, we learn each and every concept of Python programming in detail. Right? So if you see the introduction part, Python. What is Python? Python is a high level general purpose programming language. High level general purpose. Multiple words are there here, right? General purpose. Observe here high level general purpose. High level means so any language, any programming language which humans can understand is called as an high level programming language. Very important point. Right? High level means humans can understand. Humans can understand. General purpose. This name itself says for general use cases. If you use that programming language, it is a general purpose programming language. You see here, with the help of Python, you can do data analysis. Is it right? You can develop web applications. You can develop games, right? You can develop apps, right? So apps are web applications, right? Mobile applications, right? Websites also you can develop, right? Not only for single purpose, for multiple purposes you can use this Python programming language. So Python is a general purpose high level programming language. It is case sensitive language. Case sensitive language. Case sensitive, this name itself says you need to use lowercase or uppercase. You see here I'm defining small variable which is x whose value is 10. There is another variable capital X whose value is 20. If you try to use a print statement, print of capital X, it will not return you, it will not print you 10. Instead of that, it will print 20. But SQL is a case insensitive language. Is it right? So in SQL, you will use queries. Queries are case insensitive. But in Python, whatever the case which you are using, accordingly the result will be provided to you, right? So Python is a case sensitive programming language, right? So how they have implemented this Python programming language, we can see its source code also, right? So that is the reason why it is called as an open source. You can see the source code, right? So how they have implemented methods, how they have implemented functions. Going ahead, we'll see each and everything. So Python is an open source programming language, right? Platform independent. Platform independent. Other important feature. Platform independent means today you are developing code in Windows operating system. Tomorrow you can run that code in any operating system. It can be Mac, it can be Linux. So whatever the code which you have written in one platform, that will work perfectly without any issue in other platforms. A platform means operating systems, right? So Python is a platform independent programming language, right? So and one more important thing, simpler than other programming languages. Simpler than other programming languages. Very, very important point it is. You see here, I'm just opening this Edge browser, online Python interpreter. Some simple interpreter, I'm just taking this to make you understand very clearly. Observe here, guys. I'm opening this C also, C interpreter, right? See, program is. Similarly, I will take Java also, right? You observe here, it is Java compiler. Let me take C++ also. right? C++ also, I'm just taking this. Guys, observe here. So first programming language is C, C++, next Java, next Python. You see, my requirement is, I want to print hello world. I want to print hello world. This is what my requirement. For printing hello world, you see here, how many lines of code you have written? One, two, three, four. Right? Total 4 lines of code. If it is C++, again, it is more lines of code. Is it right? If it is Java also, right, you need to write multiple lines of code. And one more important thing, Java is purely an object-oriented programming language. For anything, even for printing, even for putting a dot also, you need to create a class. Without creating class, you cannot do anything. Is it right? So it is C, it is C++, it is Java. You need to write multiple lines of code for printing this simple statement. Is it right? But observe here, with respect to Python, if I want to print hello world, some simple message, is it having multiple lines of code or is it having only one single line of code? Only one single line of a code. So whatever the result which you are getting here in all these programming languages, C, C++, Java, and Python, all right, the result is the same. But in Python, you can write very simple code. So that is the reason Python is simpler than other programming languages. Other programming languages, it is very, very simple when compared to other programming languages. Good. Once you understand this, a basic introduction, you need to understand history. Is it right? For anything, there will be some background. Similarly, for Python also, there is some background, right? Everybody thinks that Java is a first programming language, then Python. No, it is not true. It is false. Python is a first programming language. So Python implementation started in December, right? December 1989. In December 1989, Python implementation was started. Who started this? Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum. He is a Dutch programmer. Dutch means Netherlands, right? So he's a Dutch programmer. He started implementing this Python programming language in the year 1989 in December. In December, where he has implemented that, where he started implementing this at CWI. Don't worry, I clearly mentioned this clear-cut definition in the material. Nobody going to ask in interview. Don't worry about this. So in Dutch language, it is CWI. CWI means Centrum. Let me write it here. Centrum Viskunde and Informatica. Central Viskunde and Informatica. So this is what a lab, CWI lab. So in English, this CWI is called as National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science. Every programmer, every scientist is a mathematician. Similarly, Guido van Rossum, he is also a programmer, but before that, he is a mathematician. So, working at these particular labs. So, he started implementing this Python in the 1989 year, right? So, at CWI in Netherlands, right? The CWI in English it is called as an National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science, where it is in Netherlands. Good. He started implementing. You can give any name for that programming language. Is it right? My name is Madan Mohan. Your name is Suresh, right? Her name is Anshu. Any name I can give, but why Python? At that specific point of time in the year 1989, right? There is a famous BBC TV show, guys. Famous BBC TV show. So, what is that famous show? Monty Python Flying Circus. Monty Python flying circus. He is very much interested and he is a very big fan, Guido van Rossum, of this program, Monty Python Flying Circus. At that particular point of time, it is a famous TV show, right? He is very fond of that. So what Guido has decided, I started implementing a programming language. Why can't I put the name of that programming language, which should be very short, right? Which should be very short. It should be unique. It should be unique and it should be mysterious. Mysterious, right? So based on these three things, what he has done, he has taken this Python name from this BBC TV show. From this BBC TV show. You see here, so out of these all names, Python is somewhat short, right? Somewhat short, right? It is unique also. It is mysterious also. When anybody listens about or hears about this Python, what most of the people will think it is like a snake. Is it treating like a mysterious name? Yes. So that's the reason. Based on these things, he decided to keep the name of that programming language as Python. Good. On what basis he implemented this Python? There should be some base. Is it right? So what he has done, he developed Python based on some features. What are those features? From C, he has taken functional programming features, right? Functional programming features, right? It is a combination of multiple languages, guys. Python is a combination of multiple languages. From C, he has taken these features, functional programming features, right? From C++, he has taken object oriented programming principles, right? Oops concepts, he has taken that from Perl and shell script, right? Perl and shell script, right? These are the programming languages at that particular point of time, right? From Perl and shell script, he has taken scripting language features, scripting language features, scripting language features. Python is a scripting language. In DevOps, if you see, instead of shell script, they can also use this Python, right? From shell script, he inspired and he implemented this scripting language features also in Python. And there is another programming language at that particular point of time, which is Modular 3. Right? From Modular 3, he has taken modular programming features, right? Modular programming features. Right? This is what the brief thing which he inspired from C, C++, Perl and shell script, Modular 3. Right? So combinedly, these features are divided into two categories. One is core Python, right? One is core Python and the other thing is advanced Python. Core Python and advanced Python. What features as a part of core Python comes, right? You talk about data types. In every programming language, we have data types. We have control flow. Is it right? Control flow, nothing but control structures. Control structures. You have functions. You have modules. These comes under core Python. Very, very basic. Coming to advanced Python, right? You have decorators. You have decorators. You have generators also, which we'll be discussing these concepts in a great detail going ahead. You have object oriented programming principles also, right? You have multi-threading. So it is a kind of splitting a single process into multiple processes. It is called as a multi-threading. Also, you need to learn about frameworks as well. So what are the different types of frameworks? We have Django. Is it right? Web development framework. Similarly, Flask you have, right? This is also a web development framework, right? So entire programming features of Python is divided into core Python, and advanced Python. Good. Is he implemented all these features in one single shot? It is not possible. You take this mobile application in your mobile phone. Every time when you open Google Play Store, definitely you'll be having some update. Is it right? So that is nothing but a version. So he released multiple versions of Python. In each and every version, what he has done, he has implemented some key features. Observe here. In February 20, 1991, version 0.9.0 has been released into market, right? So first Python code was published. So official release of Python is in 1991. In 1994, Python one version has been released into the market. So they have implemented Lambda features. Very, very important feature. Map function, filter function, reduce function. So these are all functions which we'll be discussing in a great detail in functions concept. In 2000, they implemented Python 2.0, version 2 of Python. List comprehensions they introduced along with garbage collections. All right, we'll be discussing this going ahead. From Python 3 onwards, in the 2008, they have implemented this Python 3. All right, they have implemented some Unicode characters. All right, print function they have implemented. So like this, now we have version 3.xx. You see here, when you search for Python download, right? So you see, click on this official website, web link. You see, the latest version right now is 3.14. Right, this is what a pre-release version. It is in the maintenance stage. Right, they are planning to release in 2025. It is on October. You see here, this is what the date. So right now you have this LTS version, right? So you can see 3.13.2. You can see the previous versions also, which if you are interested in. Good. By seeing all these things, what we need to do at the end of the day, we need to work with Python. Is it right? Whatever you learn about any programming language, you need to work with that programming language, right? Now here comes the installation, download and installation of Python. Download and installation of Python. Guys, I'll be sharing a simple document. Just go through that document. That document is having steps, multiple steps. Just follow those steps one by one. First and foremost thing, go to this official website. Is it right? This is what the official website, python.org. In the downloads, you'll be seeing this download button of this Python. You just try to search for another time, Python. Search for Python as well. You see here, this is what the official link, click on that. So once you click on that, you see when you scroll down, if you want to download, just click on that download. So it will navigate you to this particular page, right? So accordingly, if it is Windows, what is the system which you are using Windows? Yes, you can try to just download that. You see, it is 23.3 MB. If it is Mac, it is 67.8 MB. So accordingly, you can try to install that. Just click on that. So I have already installed this in my local machine. So just go through this document one by one. Observe here. Just go to this link, the same link. Just now we have seen. Right? Click on this download Python button. Right? So here the version may be different in your case. Right? I'm using right now. They might have updated to another version. Right? You can just download that specific version. Yet you will be landing onto this page. You can see this particular option, Python releases for Windows. The same here you can see. All right. So next, once you see that specific option, right? So click on that download Python. So once you click on that, You see here, it is already downloading some exe file. Is it right? The same exe file you can see here. This is what the symbol of that exe file. Just double click on that. You know how to install any application. Is it right? Any exe file. So double click on that exe file. Once you double click on that exe file, you can see this particular window is popping up. Very important thing. Observe this very, very carefully. Once you double click on this exe file, right, guys, you will see this window. You will see this window. And there is two options here. One is install now, customize installation, use admin privileges, add python.exe to path. Don't bother about customize installation. When you see this option, by default, Python will be installed in this location. You see here in the C drive, in users, you have this username. Multiple users you can have. So this username, inside this username, because this is what the only one user in my local machine. So that's the reason you can see this particular username. In this username, you can see this is a hidden folder app data. So inside app data in local programs Python 3. In this location, by default, Python will be installed. When you click on install now. But once you click on this customize installation, you can choose any another folder, not this folder, any another folder you can customize, and you can try to install that Python. And one more important thing, once you choose this option or this option, but always it is recommended to go for this option. Next, you need to check this checkbox. Very, very important thing. Why? Today, you are installing this application. Not only this application, any application it can be. If you see this option, path option, you need to understand this thing. Today, you are installing in C drive, right? Tomorrow, I can be having some E drive, D drive, F drive also. Any application which you installed in C drive, if you want to access across multiple drives, what you need to do, you need to add this location to path. You need to add that application location. Is it right? Python.exe. This is what an application. At this application location, you need to add to path. That means once you add to path, not only from C drive, it can be anywhere on your system. It can be any location from your system. You can access that application not only for Python. Try to understand this very carefully. Any application which you download, which you try to install, if you see this path option, blindly check that path option. Not only from C drive, if you are having multiple drives, from that drives, you can access that application. Right? Very, very important. So try to check this checkbox. Very, very important thing it is. Right? So try to check this checkbox. Add python.exe to path. Good. So once you check this, right? So once you click on install now, you can see this window will be popping up. Right? Once this window will be popping up, that means Python is installing in the background. Right? Once it is installed, you can see this message. Right? Setup was successful. This message you'll be able to see. Just click on close. Step by step, I have mentioned each and everything inside this document. Right? Good, guys. What I have done, I have selected this option. Right? If I selected this option, install now. By default, Python will be installed in this location. Let us see whether it is installed or not. You see here, I'm clicking on File Manager, clicking on C drive, clicking on Users. Is it right? C users. What is the user? This is what the username. Is it right? This is what the username. You see here, the same user. I'm just taking it here. Right? So click on that. And you can see one of the option as app data. one of the folder as app data. In your case, it may not be visible. Why? It is a hidden folder. It is a hidden folder, right? What you can do, just click on view. Just click on view. It is very simple, very easy. Click on show. You see here, already I have selected this option, hidden items. So that's the reason you are able to see. Now I have clicked that. I have unselected that. You see here, I'm not able to see that app data. Am I able to see that app data? No, nowhere I'm able to see this app data. Right? In your case, this is what the screen. Just go to view, mouse over onto show. You can see hidden items. Click on that hidden items. Once you click on that hidden items, when you scroll down, you can see app data will be there. App means application, application data. Any type of application it is, you'll be having that data here. Click on that. You see multiple options. So one of the option is local. Click on local, scroll down. You can see one of the option as programs. Right? You see in programs, you have a folder created, which is click on that Python. Once you click on that Python, you can see a folder here, Python 313, right? So just click on that. Once you click on that, you can see these are all the supporting folders for Python application. These folders are automatically installed in your local machine. Once you double click on that exe file, once you install that application, right, you no need to bother about all these things. You need to see whether this python.exe, you see here, this is what an application, whether this is installed or not. Good. You are visually navigating to this particular location. You are checking that whether it is installed or not. But is there any way to check whether it is properly installed or not? Yes, there is a way. Guys, observe here, very, very important. Click on this search. Search for command prompt, right? Search for command prompt. Open that, right? Once you open that, this is what the window, all right? See users, and this is the username, right? So type a name, type a command, Python hyphen version, right? Once you enter Python 3.13.1, Python 3.13.1. So this is what the version along with the name, right? So you can see here. This is one way, right? When you issue this Python hyphen version, it will show you this Python programming language name along with which version you have installed. And there is one more thing as well, right? Just enter Python. You see here. So this is what a prompt, right? After this Python along with the version, it will also display you some prompt, right? This prompt is nothing but it is waiting for user input. It is asking a user to enter some data, to enter some input, right? So these are the two commands. After installing Python, you can go to this command prompt, right? So you can issue these commands and you can just enter, right? Once you enter, you can see the versions also. Let me note this point, right? Once we install Python, right? Once we install Python, we need to verify that. Is it right? We need to verify that. So how you can verify? Go to command prompt. Go to command prompt. So after going to command prompt, issue Python hyphen version command or Python command. So can you, if you issue these two commands, Python hyphen version or Python, it will show you this particular name along with that version. So if it is displaying you this, then that means Python is successfully installed. Very good. Any application, anything which you install, what you need to do? You need to use that. With respect to programming language, You need to write a code, you need to run the code. So in how many ways you can run the code? Ways to run the code, right? Ways to run the code. Very, very important. Try to listen this very carefully. One is by using IDLE, integrated development and learning environment. IDLE. It is also called as shell, Python shell. Python shell. Once you install Python, along with the Python, you will also get this Python shell, which is learning environment for kids, right? For school children, they don't know about IDE. They don't know about big features which they can develop in future, right? Initially, to make them work with any programming language, so learning environment will be there. Similarly, for Python also there is IDLE, integrated development and learning environment, right? Python shell. By default, it will be installed. You don't need to bother about this. So how you can access this IDLE? Just click on this search for IDLE, right? Once you search for IDLE, you can see here. So this is what the application which is by default available. Once you install Python, just click on open, right? So once you click on open, you see here. So this is what the shell, right? This is what the shell. So Python is what the programming language along with the version of that Python. All right. So this is what a prompt. Just now we have seen in the command prompt. So this is one way. Ways to run Python code is this is one way by using IDLE, by using Python shell. All right, guys. Let us see one simple program here. Print off some simple message. I'm printing here. This is my first program. Right. First program. Some simple message. Right. I'm printing here. Hello old. Right, hello old. This is Chitty, is it right? When you see robo movie, you can see this is Chitty, speed 1 terabyte. Like that, you'll be having some information. The same way, these were the very first program. You can simply type some simple message, right? Hello old, this is my first program, right? You can see here when I click on enter, right? Guys, observe here, when I click on enter, the same has been displayed here. Is it right? It is the prompt, 3 arrows. It is a prompt. Prompt means waiting for user input. All right. So once you give this input, so how you can give this input in the form of a code? Print is what a print statement, print function, which is used to display some message. This is what the message here. Hello world. This is my first program. Once you click on enter, you can see this message. Let us do one simple mathematical calculation. Print of 10 plus 20, right? 10 plus 20. Guys, you see what is 10 plus 20? It is 30. It is 30. Good. This is what the first way to write the Python code and to execute this Python code. Is it right? IDLE. And you need to observe this one important thing. Every time when I write any code, any line of code, once I click on enter, I'm not able to write another line of code. So it is directly giving me output. Again, I need to enter another code in another prompt. Is it right? Is it possible to write multiple lines of code? This is one observation here. Good. The same thing, the same Python code, you can run by using command prompt. Command prompt. Command prompt. How you can run? The same thing, how you check out that installation? Just go to command prompt, right? So issue this command Python. Yes, you can see the same message which you see in the IDLE. Is it right? Python 3.13.1. Is it right? So this is what the prompt. Prompt is nothing but waiting for user input. You see here, simple message. Print of hello old. This is Chitty, right? This is a Chitty. some simple message I'm just giving here, right? Once I click on enter, you see the same message has been displayed. With the help of command prompt, I'm just executing this code, right? One of the ways. Second way it is print of 10 divided by 20. What is the result? It is 0.5, right? It is not a proper division, it's a floor division operator. When we discuss operators in Python, you will understand this, why we have got this result, right? Right? Let us do one thing. Let us try to add two strings. One is welcome, right? And the other is Python. Welcome to Python. This is another simple message. What I am doing here, I'm just concatenating two strings. Concatenation, right? The same plus operator, if you apply on string data type, it will be treated as an concatenation operator. Arithmetic addition, concatenation operator. We'll be discussing strings. When we discuss strings, you will understand each and every operation in greater detail. Right? But for now, we are in the initial phases. Right? We are learning each and everything going ahead. Right? So once you click on enter, you can see welcome to Python. Some simple message. It is just displaying in console. Good. This is the second way. Is it right? There is one more way also by using Notepad or Notepad plus plus. Notepad plus plus. Observe here, guys. I'm just going to C drive, users, my username. I'm creating a folder here, right? You say Python code. This is what a folder, right? Inside this folder, what I'm doing, I'm just creating some simple text file, right? It is nothing but a notepad, is it right? So whatever you try to write at the end of the day, you will try to save that with .txt extension. It is some test file, right? Test file it is. I'm opening this file, right? What I'm doing here, I'm trying to have some few lines of code. Print hello world, right? So multiple lines of code I'm specifying here, right? Print of 10 plus 20, right? Print of 10 minus 20. Some simple Python code I'm specifying it here, right? So what I'm doing, clicking on file, save as, right? So not in text file, I'll be saving that with Python file .py, right? Just save. So once you click on save, you see here test.py, a Python module, a Python file is already saved in this location. Text file it is, I'm saving that with .py extension, right? It is a module. Now what you can do, just click on this search bar, right? Besides that search bar, you will be having a location, right? So just click on that location. You see here, see users, username. This is what the folder name inside this username. Is it right? So what you can do, search for command prompt. Once you search for command prompt, you see here, guys, command prompt. When you open here, I'm clicking on this search again. Observe this very carefully. From now onwards, if you want to execute anything from the command prompt, just go to the location. Is it right? I'm just directly going to that location inside this username Python code. So going to that location, searching for command prompt. Simple, that's it. You see here, your command prompt will be opened in this location. In this location, this is one way, right? Or search for command prompt, right? You see, this command prompt is not here. Is it right? So it is not inside Python code. This is what the command prompt which I opened from this search. Is it right? What you can do, you can go to the location where the file is present. Where the file is present inside Python code. This Python code inside this username. You see here. You see here. So what I'm doing, I'm using some simple command. cd Python code. cd Python code. So this is what the folder. Inside this folder, just click on enter. So once you click on enter, you can see now the cursor is blinking inside this Python code folder. So once you are inside this folder where your file is present, is it right? Inside Python code only, Python code folder, my file is present. So what you can do, you can try to execute that. So how you can execute? Just issue this command py test.py, py test.py. You see here, I used print of hello world. Is it right? Is it displaying this simple message? Print of 10 plus 20, it is 30. Is it right? Print of 20 minus 10, it is minus 10. Is it right? The same messages, the same results is displaying here. What you have done? What you have done? You see here, you have saved Python code in Notepad. In my case, I have Notepad. In your case, it can be Notepad plus plus also. You try to specify that code here. You saved that with .py extension, directly gone to the location, open that command prompt, issued this command py test.py. This is what the module name inside this location. So each and every code inside that, it is executed. Is it right? So each and everything is executed and displayed in the console. So these are multiple ways. Once you install Python, not only Python, any programming language it is. At the very beginning, we need to understand how you can run that Python code, how you can run that specific programming language code. It can be Java, it can be C, it can be C++, C Sharp, Ruby, .NET, any type of programming language it is. One is through IDLE, if it is Python, and you can also use command prompt, or you can save the code in Notepad or Notepad++. Directly go to command prompt, issue a simple command. What is that command? Py test.py. This is one thing. Or directly, if you are very beginner, just use this command Python test.py. Test.py is what a module name, right? You see here. Let me execute this command also. Very, very important basics. These are all. Before going to build a big building, these are all the basic stuff, minimum stuff you need to understand. I'm going to command prompt, guys. Guys, observe here. My command prompt is there inside this directory, right? Inside this user name. So inside this username, I have another folder. What is that folder? Python code. So inside Python code, I have test.py. Is it right? So what I can do directly, instead of switching to that directory, I can issue this command Python. Where is that code? Inside Python code folder, right? So inside this module, test.py, this is what the module name. Is it right? But is this module available in this location? No. You see here, once I click on enter, what it is saying, Python cannot open the file. And also it is displaying this message. No such file or directory. This file is present. Where that file is present? Inside Python code directory, inside this folder. Is it right? So what you can do, directly instead of switching, you can try to specify that folder name, Python code. Python underscore code. Inside that you have test.py. Right? You see here, previously I have used cd, change directory, Python code. Is it right? But right now, I'm issuing this simple command directly. So inside this location, I have this file. So directly, it will go to this location, it will execute this file. So each and everything I have specified in a great detail in the material. Just go through that. But don't worry about this. Every step, every single step I have specified. Right? You don't need to bother about all these things. But you need to understand how you can execute this. Right? Observe here. Once I click on enter, is it right? The same result, it is a printing. Hello world. Right? So 30 minus 10. Right? This is what the very, very basic thing. So multiple ways of running Python code. Good. Will you use these things in real time? No. We will never ever use this real time. Very, very rare. to check, to test any code at that specific point of time, maybe we can use. But in real time, to develop complex features, we will never use these multiple ways. What we will do? We will use IDE, integrated development environment. Integrated development, very, very, very important point. IDLE is different. IDE is different. IDLE is different. IDE is different. IDE means integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. This name itself says environment. Environment for developing complex features. But coming to this IDLE, integrated development and learning environment, only for learning purposes, only for small kids, we'll use this IDLE. But coming to IDE, it is for developing complex applications. We need this IDE. So what are the most popular IDEs? Most of you people already know this. One is VS Code. Is it right? And the other is with respect to Python, especially we'll be using this PyCharm IDE. We'll be using this PyCharm IDE. So these are the most commonly used IDEs. But out of this, PyCharm is most popular with respect to Python, right? Most popular, right? So very, very important thing it is. Good. Once you install Python, you need this IDE so that you can develop some complex application. You can develop some complex test cases also. It can be regression testing or end-to-end testing test cases also. So you need this PyCharm IDE, right? So now download and installation of PyCharm IDE, right? Download and installation of PyCharm IDE. So how you can download? I have already downloaded this in my local machine. In your case, what you can do? I'll be sharing this document as well, step-by-step document. You don't need to bother about each and everything. I'll be providing you this document. PyCharm installation on Windows. Similarly, I'll be providing for Mac as well as Linux also. Try to refer that. You see here, search for PyCharm. Once you search for PyCharm, this is what the official link of PyCharm. Click on that. See, once you click on that, you will be landing onto this page, jetbrains.com PyCharm. Right? You see here at the very beginning, at the first part of the page, you see Python IDE for data and web professionals. For data analysis, data processing also, we'll use this PyCharm. Other than that, there are a lot of use cases where you can use this PyCharm IDE with respect to Python programming language, right? When you scroll down, you can see here multiple options you'll be having in this web application, right? So what you can do, just click on this download, right? Once you click on that download, you will land onto this page, downloads page, all right? Again, let me show you this, right? So search for PyCharm, click on this official link. Once you click on this, you will land onto this page. Click on download. Once you click on download, you can see here, you land onto this page. PyCharm Professional, you can see. When you scroll down, you can see PyCharm Community Edition. So this is where we are interested in. This is where we are interested in. So which version, which edition of PyCharm I need to download? Community edition, not professional edition. Very, very important, guys. Very important. Everybody on a hurry, what they will do when they land onto this page, they will see this professional version. But don't download this professional version. Professional version is a paid tool. You need to pay some amount after the trial period ends, right? Just to scroll down. Once you scroll down, you can see PyCharm Community Edition. This is what another software, right? It's a free software which you can use for almost for everything. It is more than sufficient. Community edition is more than sufficient. Just click on download. So once you click on download, an exe file will be downloaded. All right, the same thing as like in Python. This is for Windows. Similar for Mac also. You see here for Mac also we having this community edition. For Linux also, you see here you'll be having this tar files, right, where you can unzip them, where you can install them as well, right? You just try to go to your respective operating system, click on download. Only community edition, not professional, guys. Very important. Don't download this. Again, it will be a headache. Again, you need to pay some amount after trial version ends. Right? You see here step by step, follow this document. Right? PyCharm installation on Windows. You go to this link, you can see this particular option. Is it right? PyCharm Community Edition. That's what we have seen right now. Click on download. Once you click on download, you can see this is what an exe file. It looks like it will be downloaded. Scroll down. Once you double click on that, is it right? Any exe file, once you double click only, it will be able to install. Right? Once you double click on that, you can see this window will be popped up. Click on next. Always select some default options. Scroll down. You see here, this is what the location where this PyCharm will be installed. So don't bother about this. Just click on next. Okay. So once you click on next, again, you will land onto this page. As I have said, wherever you are seeing path, just check that checkbox. Blindly check that checkbox. If you want to create some desktop shortcut also, you can check this checkbox as well. Right? So just click on next then. So once you click on next, you can see this window will be popped up and just click on install. That's it. Only two things. One is check this checkbox, and you can also use this particular option if you want to create a desktop shortcut, right? So it will be installed. So you can see this particular window also will be appearing, right, once you click on install. So once it is fully installed, right, you can see these two options. One is reboot now. You need to restart your system, or if you want to reboot later, you can check this check radio button as well. All right, but I recommend you try to reboot this right away. Right, once you click on finish, your system will be restarted. All right, so once it is restarted, right, once it is restarted, just try to open this PyCharm. How you can open? The same thing. Click on this search. Search for PyCharm. Once you search for PyCharm, you can see here, this is what a PyCharm community edition it will show. Just click on that. So once you click on that, you see here at the very beginning, the same window in your case, you will be seeing the same window. The same window, guys. There is no doubt at all. At the same window, you'll be able to see. If you want to customize also, you can just customize this. You can try to keep this in high contrast or Dracula. This is a theme, IntelliJ Lite. So anything you can try to customize that. You see here, I have already installed this plugin, right? So which is a classic UI which I'm comfortable with. So the UI which you are seeing here, right? That this whole UI is a classic UI. I have installed this from plugins section. All right, so you don't bother about all these things. You will be landing onto this page at the very beginning when you open this PyCharm. Now what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a new project. I will not clone this from GitHub repository right now because we did not learn about GitHub repository. Once we complete this Selenium Python, we'll start implementing project. There we will learn extensively about a Git, Jenkins, Docker, Selenium grid as well. Then we can try to push the code which is there in the local repository to remote repository. Right now, don't bother about each and everything. Just to follow the steps right away. Whatever I am displaying to you. Just click on new project. You see here, once you click on new project, this window will be appeared. So by default, this is for the location, right? PyCharm projects. So this is for the default location where your PyCharm will be creating this folder. Inside this is for the project name. So what I am doing here, so Python Selenium. This is for the project name, right? Which I am specifying it here, right? Python, Selenium. You don't bother about all these things for now. Going ahead, you will understand this very clearly. Don't bother about this. Always select this Python project virtual environment. So every project will be having some dependencies, right? So to isolate a project from another project, you need virtual environment. So environment, it is virtual. Virtual means it is there, but it is logically isolated with respect to another projects. So search for this. By default it will be selected automatically. Don't bother about this. Try to specify only the project name. Just click on create, right? You see here directory is not empty, right? So what you can do, if it is displaying uh, to you, so you can just try to click on anything, or you can just click on that cross, or open the project, or create a new project. So this is what by default it is opening this existing project. So what I'll be doing right now, click on file again. So you'll be I'll be closing this project, right? You see here, this is what the window at the very beginning which you see. Click on new project. So this is what the project name, Python Selenium, right? Click on create. So once you click on create, so you see here again it is going to that. So I'll be closing this again, new project, because I already have these existing things, right? In your case it will not be the case, right? So create some welcome script. Click on create, right? Click on create from existing sources, right? So it will be landing onto this page, right? What you can do right now, you can try to delete these things. I'm deleting these things for now, right? You see here, once you click on create, in your case it will not come. I'm maintaining a lot of projects inside, so that's the reason you will be seeing those two options. Don't bother about that, right? Just specify that a project name, click on create, that's it. So directly you will land onto this page. You'll see this type of a window. Good. Day by day I'll be creating directories. If it is required also, I'll be creating packages, right? So once you create a project, the next step is you need to create a directory, you need to create a module, right? It's a very, very important thing. It is very important operation. So once you install PyCharm, right? So what you need to do again, you need to set up a Python project. Is it right? What we have done, we have clicked on new project. We have clicked on file, right? So specific project name you have specified, right? So in this case, what is the project name? Python Selenium, right? What I'll be doing right now, I'll be creating day wise directories. I'll be creating a directory if it is required. I'll be creating a package also. So how you can create a package or a directory, right? So click on that project, right click on that. You see multiple options. So one of the option is new. When you mouse over onto new, right, you can see multiple options again. You see here directory, right? Click on directory. So it is day one, right? I'll be specifying day one here. So this is what the directory name. Directory is like a folder. Don't worry if you don't understand also. When we discuss modules and packages in Python, you'll understand that very clearly. What is the purpose of a directory? What is the purpose of a package? Right? Again, what you need to do, you need to create a Python file. Is it right? When I am saving my Python code in some folder, is it right? Python code in test.py. This is what the file name. Is it right? Test.py. Test.py. So any file, very important thing, any file with .py extension, .py extension, it is called as an Python file. So what is the exact name for Python file? Module. Any file from now onwards, when I say module, it is .py file. When I say module, it is .py file. You should never forget. Wherever you go, you may be in India, you may be in Australia, you may be in Japan. This name you should never forget. .py file is called as a module. Right? So again, what is a module? What is a package? What is a class? What is an object? What is a function? Don't bother about all these things. For now, you need to understand this much only. That's it. Any file with a .py extension, it is called as a module. Right? You see here, right click on that, right click on this, mouse over onto new. You see multiple options. So one of the option is Python file. Is it right? Python file is a .py file. Click on that. Right? Specify. Right? So hello world. This is what a file name here. You see here, hello world.py. Is it right? Right click on the directory, mouse over onto new, multiple options you can see. So one of the option is Python file. Python file is a .py file. Click on that. It will create a Python file. Just to specify the name of that file. That's it. That's it. Every human being will be having some name. Similarly, module is also having some name. Hello world is what a module name. Good. A simple code I'll be writing here. Try to understand this. Print off. Print off. Hello world. Right. This is my first Python program. First Python program. This is my first Python program. You see here, this is what an IDE, integrated development environment, not only one single line. You can write multiple lines of code. You see here, print off, welcome, welcome, right? Plus, right? You see here, observe here, to Python programming. This is another message, right? Right? I'll be doing some simple mathematical operation also. 10 plus 20, right? 10 minus 20, 10 divided by 20, right? So multiple lines of a code. Am I writing here? Am I writing here? Yes. We are going to write multiple lines of a code. But if it is IDE, if it is a command prompt, IDLE, if it is command prompt, is it possible? It is not possible. But generally, we won't prefer Notepad or Notepad++ also to keep our code. We generally prefer IDE, integrated development environment. Only for development purposes, we'll use this IDE. Right, good. Once you written this code, at the end of the day, you need to run the code. How you can run the code? There are multiple ways. Multiple ways, guys. Observe here, observe here, observe here. Observation is important. Ways to run Python code. Multiple ways. Let me show you. Right click on run. You see here, right clicking on this module. Is it right? So hello world.py. This is what a module. Right click anywhere on the module. So once you right click, you can see multiple options. One of the option is run hello world. Click on that. You see, once you click on that, how beautifully it is giving me the result. Hello world. This is my first Python program. Welcome to Python programming. It is 30, 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, it is minus 10, 10 divided by 20, it is 0.5. How beautifully it is giving me the result. This is one way. Right click anywhere on the module. You can see one of the option, run hello world. Click on that. Run means execute this code, execute this module. This is one way. Other way is click on green arrow on top right corner. You see here, this is what a right corner. On top right corner, you can see this green arrow button. Click on that. Once you click on that also, you can see the result. How beautiful it is printing the result. How good it is. You see here, this is another way. Click on this directly. Click on this green button. There is one more way. What is that? By using terminal. Terminal is like a command prompt. One very good support from PyCharm IDE is it is having this terminal support. By default, you don't need to bother about this command prompt. You don't need to open this command prompt from this search. No need of separate window. PyCharm is already having some inbuilt option which is terminal. You see here multiple options you see in the footer. One of the option is terminal. Click on that terminal, right? So it will show you where your project is. Is it right? So inside PyCharm projects, I have this project Python Selenium, right? So what you can do inside this, I am having this directory. Inside this directory only, I am having this module, right? You see here how you can execute that module. So Python, 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 day one. Inside that I have hello world, right? Inside that I have hello world.py, hello world.py. You see here inside this project, inside this location, I have this module. Specify that module. Just click on enter. Simple. That's it. Your job is completed. Hello world, this is my first Python program. Welcome to Python programming. Is it right? Is it displaying the same messages here? 10 plus 20, it is 30. 10 minus 20, it is minus 10. It is 0.5. 10 divided by 20. The same messages. How beautifully it is printing. Right? These are multiple ways of executing our code through PyCharm IDE. So these are the ways, right, without IDE. But these are the ways. Once you write a code in an IDE, you can execute.